A great guest, Ted Murphy. You are the founder and CEO of IZEA.
Yes.
Right, which is this great way to kind of make the most out of social media. We live in a world where we're all a social media celebrity of some sorts. We're all a blogger, right? And what you do is you match, you have a team of basically 50,000 brands and 750,000 social media users, and you try to match them up so everybody can be happy and make a profit.
Absolutely. So people are spending more and more time with social media. We actually just came out with a study recently that shows that people are more addicted than ever to social media.
That's interesting because we got that Reuters poll yesterday that showed that people are spending less time on Facebook. Maybe that's just Facebook.
Just Facebook.
Because they're on Pinterest now and
right,
everything
they're all over the place.
Right.
They're using Twitter, they're using Facebook, they're snapping photos, but they are constantly connected.
Okay.
And what we try to do is help them essentially monetize that social media presence. So whether they're a blogger or a Facebook user or a Twitter user, help them make a little extra cash for all that time that they're spending.
How much could you make?
Well, it really depends on how big your following is. So on the low end, you might be able to make $30 to $50 for a blog post. On the high end, you might be able to make a couple $1,000s for a single blog post. And if you're a celebrity, it just gets crazy.
I know. You were telling me that Kim Kardashian even accepts money for celebrity tweeting, sponsored tweets, and many big name celebrities do. It's kind of interesting because they don't really need the money. Why would they do that?
It's really a whole new world of sponsorships and endorsements, and people are leveraging their social media presence to make more money.
Right.
So, you know, on the high end with celebrities, they can make $10,000, $20,000 for a single tweet.
So for the everyday, the average blogger or social media user out there, how do they connect with you and your business to perhaps make a little bit of money from some of the major brands that you represent? You have Walmart, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, all blue chips.
All blue chips, but a lot of smaller guys as well. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. If they wanted to join the platforms, they would go to either socialspark.com, sponsoredtweets.com, or staree.com, and they would
Staree, S-T-A-R-E-E.
S-T-A-R-E-E, and they would register their social media profile. So they would log in with Facebook or Twitter
to show you're legit.
To show you're legit, right? And we're going to check you out. We're going to tag you to figure out, you know, are you a college student, or are you a stay-at-home mom, or are you a celebrity? And then we're going to try to find the brands that are right for you based on what your interests are.
Okay. You have to be somewhat established, though, before you do this, correct?
Yeah, you know, there's obviously a broad spectrum. What we tend to look for is someone who has a couple hundred followers to start with.
A couple hundred, okay.
And maybe a couple thousand page views a month on their blog. So you can kind of start small, and you're going to earn smaller amounts of money, and as you work your way up, you'll earn more and more.
Right. Really, it's a really interesting concept. All of my friends have blogs.
Yeah.
In some shape or form. For me, I always find I'm at the point where I find social media, yes, it's very useful, but it's confusing and time-consuming.
It is extremely time-consuming.
And many small businesses, while social media helps them, they get their name out, and it saves them costs, advertising costs in many ways. You also kind of need someone to man that experience, so you use social media the right way. What are the best ways to use the social sphere?
Well, it's really going to depend on what type of business you are. So if you're a small local pizzeria, you're going to use it differently than if you're a Fortune 500 brand. The big thing is that you're trying to engage your audience. So you want to have a conversation with them. You want to be listening. You know, if people have a bad experience, they're going to let their friends know through social media. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you're listening and that you're responding so that those bad experiences don't spiral out of control.
Now, the airlines are really big on managing people complaining on social media, because when you think about it, when your flight's delayed or you're stuck at an airport, what do you have? You have your phone, right?
Exactly.
And you get on there and you start complaining to the world about how bad Delta is or whatever.
Guilty.
I know. I recently did a story showing how the airlines are combating that space and making their tweeters and everybody else happy via social media.
It's not just combating it, it's really taking that negative experience and turning around and making it a positive experience. And it's a whole new channel for them to actually see that publicly this is getting resolved, right? And that now it's like, okay, well, they fixed it for me. That's great. I'm going to also share that out too.
Yeah. You know, I also have to wonder, I'm playing devil's advocate here a little bit. Moments ago, Reuters and Ipsos put out a poll, so you wouldn't know about this, but
All right.
I'll tell you now.
Gosh, here we go.
And the whole idea is that the old way of doing things is kind of coming back. And they asked people around the world, they said, would you rather give up your cell phone than your computer? And everybody said cell phone. Then they said, well, cell phone or sex? And obviously everyone said cell phone. But then they said a social networking site or what was the other one? Or something, I don't know, not something that I think, social networking site or computer. And they said they would give up the social media.
Yeah,
overwhelmingly so, by 58%.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard, though. You kind of need one to have the other.
Right. That's true. Well, yeah.
But
see, giving up a cell phone for me would be huge because it's also a computer, kind of.
Exactly. I mean, it's a little computer in your pocket if you think about it. Most of our cell phones now are more powerful than our computers were 5 years ago.
Right.
So I think that's a little bit of a tricky question there, how you would make that happen.
But I just feel like the art of a real conversation and a phone call can't be dismissed, despite the fact that it's social media bonanza days out there.
Absolutely. Well, it's weird to just see how things have shifted over time, where people communicate via text messages and emails and status updates instead of actually doing things in person.
I just called a hotel. I was recently on vacation. I had a complaint, and I called them to tell them about it. They were like, "Can you just email it to us?" I was like, "All right."
This is going to be a lot of work if we have to actually talk to you on the phone.
Sure, I guess. So I emailed them. I would have been nicer on the phone than in my email. So okay, so give me a rundown of how people can use your business and your sites to make their blogs more known.
The biggest thing that they can do is actually sign up and start receiving offers from advertisers.
Okay.
So what we try to do is we're not going to push things down.
IZEA.com.
IZEA.com. They can find our various properties off of the IZEA website, and then depending on what type of social media user they are, they can go to the different properties. So if you're sponsored, or if you're a Twitter user, you're going to go to sponsored tweets. If you're a blogger, you're going to probably go to Social Spark, which is our blog property.
Okay.
And you would basically sign up, let us know a little bit about you, and then it's kind of like magic. Like, you'll just start getting offers from us that say, this advertiser wants to pay you, $50 to blog about them. Do you want to do it or not? And then it's completely up to you.
What made you come up with this idea?
Oh gosh, about 6 years ago now, I was looking at what was happening in the social space, and that was the very early times of blogging.
Definitely.
And what I recognized was that as soon as people had the opportunity to share their thoughts online, that everybody would do it.
Right.
And now, faster than I could have ever imagined, everybody is doing that. And that's creating a huge problem for advertisers because people's time is so fragmented now. It's not just that I'm watching that one television network or that one radio station. I may be watching this show and on my phone at the same time tweeting to my friends.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should be a psychic or a visionary. Maybe that's what your next calling.
Me and Miss Chloe.
Good job. Thank you so much, Ted, founder and CEO of IZEA, for coming on and giving lots of people out there who'd like to do something more with their blogs and their social media aspirations some insight.